Japanese footballer Hiroki Sakai has competed in 2 World Cups and 2 Olympics. But this year's Olympics were unlike any other tournament.
Honestly, it was sad playing without spectators. Fans are now back inside stadiums for J-League tournaments and stadiums are full of energy. I think all of us involved in the Olympics hoped for this till the last minute. But in the end, we were just thankful the Olympics took place safely.
There were protests against holding the Olympics during a pandemic, and organizers considered canceling the games altogether due to a spike in coronavirus cases and the country's low vaccination rate. But after a delay of 12 months, the games took place. But in empty stadiums and under strict safety protocols, including temperature checks, with thousands of COVID tests conducted each day. It meant everyone at the games, from athletes and coaches to journalists and organizers, were required to quarantine inside a so-called Olympic bubble.
We couldn't hold group meetings or dine together or communicate like we used to. We had to eat separated by acrylic boards. But that's why we treasured every practice and put all our minds and efforts in communicating about our tactics when we could. Also, many Olympic-related events for athletes were moved online, so we didn't have to travel much wearing a suit. This also helped us focus on our match even more.
Many Tokyo residents were skeptical the games should go on. But once the Olympic flame was lit, public sentiment shifted. By the time the last athlete had competed, one poll showed nearly 2/3 of people were satisfied that Tokyo decided to go ahead with hosting the games.
Against all odds, they were able to pull this together, and I was very impressed about that.
But for the government, forging ahead with the Olympics came at a price. Support for then Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga plummeted, and he eventually stepped down. Before the games took place, some called Tokyo 2020 a cursed Olympics. Various scandals forced key officials to step down, some just days before the opening ceremony. But in the end, the Tokyo Olympics were the most diverse summer games in history. Tokyo was also the most sustainable games in history. Items and venues were built with the intention of being recycled or reused after the games, something observers say future hosts will be keeping an eye on.
There are more than 200 staff from Paris 2024 working with the Tokyo Organizing Committee and in all departments, including sustainability. And they will be learning a lot of lessons, which they will be able to implement in Paris and subsequently in Los Angeles.
And this might not be the last time Japan hosts an Olympic Games. The city of Sapporo is considering a bid for the 2030 Winter Olympics. But after all the country went through in hosting this year's games, convincing the public may be a hurdle too high to jump. Mayu Yoshida, TRT World, Tokyo.